Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bad Movie Podcast. Today we are talking about a very interesting movie. It's a movie that you know about. You know about. It's one of the most infamous Disney movies over the past. But before we get into that, I would just like to say that if you're over here in the States or Canada for some effing reason, it's too early in the recording. I can't swear too far this early in the recording, but if you, for some reason Canada cares too much about American politics, everyone knows this is true. This is just the case. I don't know what it is. I guess their politics are too boring. They must invest themselves in our politics. Same as the case with places like the United Kingdom, certain select areas in Europe. But if you're in the know, I'm coming into this directly off of the back of the presidential debates that we had over here, and I would just like to say that Bells hates Israel, and in his own special way, he hates the Arabs. That's what I have to say.
I was gonna say one thing. Actually, I have a lot to say, but this is.
Are you about the movie?
Well, do you say that this is one of the most infamous Disney movies in the past decade?
I believe that this is one of the most infamous Disney movies in the past decade, but I'm not even talking about that. Bells, you have yet to address my concerns that you hate Israel, and in your own special way, you hate the Arabs.
Well, I feel like the Israel hatred has to be talked in a different angle that I don't think it's going to be able to be expressed in this video.
Listen. Well, it's not a video; it's a podcast. That's first of all. Okay, you're thinking YouTube. I'm thinking Spotify. I'm thinking Apple. I'm thinking Google Podcasts. Yeah. I'm thinking Amazon Podcasts. I'm thinking so much bigger than just YouTube. You have no idea. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for that sick burn, that sick own that Donald Trump levied against Kamala in there for the Biden administration because she was puppeteering the Biden administration. We all know this is all just true. It is genuinely like I want to be able to debate like Trump. Not even saying that I like the guy. It's just I think he debates so funny. The debate, and listen, I know this is like this, we shouldn't be talking about this here. We should be talking about this some other time. And I'm going to wrap it up here in the next 30 seconds. The debate was so interesting, not interesting, but rather entertaining. So entertaining. So, almost as entertaining as the first debate this year. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you're for Kamala or you're for Trump, I don't think it matters. When Trump is over, when Trump's finally out of office, whether he wins or loses this term or not, I do believe this is his last term to run, regardless of whether he wins or loses. And can you imagine how just truly boring politics are going to be whenever he's out? And I think this goes for whether or not you support him. If you're a diehard Kamala fan, if you're a diehard Trump fan, it is interesting. It is entertaining. Are you not entertained? Anyways, I digress. Today, ladies and gentlemen, on the Bad Movie Podcast, we're talking about Zootopia. And this is a movie that
You haven't finished.
I guess it, well, shut the front door. Little brown man. Okay.
I mean, I think it needs to be.
Listen, Bells, when Project 2025 goes into motion, you are going back to Columbia. Okay, that's first of all. Second of all, this is a movie that you completely threw me off track, and I don't remember what I was going to say. And it was a really good point. About this movie. This is a movie. And this isn't my original point. Bells threw me off my original point, which is so unfortunate. It's very sad. It was really just the best way to start off this podcast, and I'm very disappointed with them. Zootopia is a movie that I was incredibly interested. Well, okay, I take that back. Zootopia is a movie that I was not interested in the slightest. Right, I was not interested in the slightest, and then Howard red pilled me on the race commentary in the movie. So I don't even think I knew that it was a race commentary, or I knew it was a race commentary, but I didn't know that it was as fumbled as it could have been, as fumbled as it was. And so that kind of sparked a little bit of interest in me watching it. However, it was never going to happen. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I started a little thing I'd like to call the Bad Movie Podcast. Welcome back to the Bad Movie Podcast, by the way. I believe this is the 4th episode. Oh my God. technically fifth, but we didn't, the third one's not coming out, okay? And this one almost didn't come out either because I did not finish the movie. I did not finish the movie despite the funny fumbled race commentary, which we're going to get into a little bit later on in the podcast. Sorry, I'm thinking YouTube. I got to be thinking Spotify. I got to be thinking Apple. I got to be thinking Google. All these things, okay? It's so much bigger than just YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's funny that this is probably going to be the episode so far that we're going to be in the most opposite ends, but
it is entirely possible because as you alluded to, I did not finish the movie, and this is simply because I'll get into it a little bit later. Actually, I don't know. I guess now is as good as any time. So it originally sparked my interest a little bit. I was never going to watch it, and then I started the Bad Movie podcast, and it gave me an excuse. And then last episode, if you watched the Lion King episode, you would know that we did a coin flip, and it was between Lion King 2 and Zootopia won. And I don't know, something came over me between then and whenever I started watching the movie. Something came over me. It was really interesting. It was a matter of like, oh shit, I actually have to do this now. I actually have to watch this movie. And it's a movie that has been it's lived in infamy, really. It's really lived in infamy, I think. And maybe it's not one of the most infamous Disney movies, however, it is definitely the most pandery to a certain group of people that I believe their movies to have caused in large part. But we can get into that. And then as I was watching the movie, I was like, my God, I don't think there's a single piece of media, aside from fetish specific media, I'm talking DeviantArt, I'm talking, any kind of these outlets, right? I don't think, aside from these pieces of media, I don't think there's a single piece of media out there that is less, or that could be more chalked up to the trope of the artists or the writers' thinly veiled fetish.
LMAO.
And because of that, Bells here, who's obviously a
well, I am furry, but this is not about that. We'll talk about it, Blaiden. We'll talk about it.
Just let me put a bow on this point real quick because I'd love to let you talk. I just want to round this out. Every time you throw me off, it's hard to get back on track. I'm like a train. You can't just put it right back on the tracks immediately after. You know what I mean? You gotta warp the metal. You gotta fix it. You gotta mend it. No, I'll go ahead and, disclose the point I got to. I got to the naked animal scene, the one with like the hippie, I don't even know what fucking animal it is. It's like the tall dude. And I was like, my God, my God, this was made by zoophiles and furries, and it was in the writing. You could smell it from a mile away regarding this movie, but it really is just so. We're going to talk about the morality behind this. We're going to talk about ethics because I don't think it's a very moral thing. I think that, if you're a weirdo and you like certain things, I think that's entirely fine as long as you're an adult, you're, engaging in these activities with consenting adults. But I think once you inject it into children's media, I think that's whenever it becomes a problem. But we're going to get into all of this, ladies and gentlemen, and more on the Bad Movie Podcast. Bells, you may speak. I've been going on for 8 minutes. You may speak.
Okay. I do actually want to talk about the writers' disguise fetish thing before I actually want to talk about the movie in general, because, Blade, I'm not gonna lie, actually, I think you're kind of retarded.
Oh, I'm not used to this sort of language coming out of your mouth, mister. Hey,
Bladen, listen. There's only I rewatched the movie, this morning, and there's only one single scene of this movie that I thought it was a writer's barely disguised fetish. And it was
two to the point where I got to. Two to the point where I got to, and then we're gonna agree on one of them. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, the one that I guess I agree with is the naked animals colony scene. Like that one. I mean, I can completely understand finding that not only disturbing, but also like maybe.
Well, you could find that you would find that attractive. I find that what's the word, off-putting in a children's movie, because it's definitely, you look at this movie and I think Tim said it best. He said that no child saw this movie. This movie was seen by degenerates, by furries, and to be fair, it's like I said, I don't judge people for what they do in the comfort of their home. I think furry, I think it's weird, but that's my opinion. I don't judge people for what they do in the comfort of their home. I don't judge the things that people draw, unless you're Picasso, who I think is grossly overrated, but that's besides the point. Yeah, and that's my point. But I think whenever you start injecting this into children's media, and we can talk about how you say that scene in particular was the only case of the writer's thinly veiled fetish. However, if that scene is the only scene in the movie, it doesn't matter if that scene is the only scene in the movie with the writer's thinly veiled fetish, because then, by that logic, the entire movie is the writer's thinly veiled fetish, because it's happening with very, very DeviantArt bait, anthropomorphic creatures. Am I wrong? Because we talked about this in the Long Lost Puss in Boots movie. About how the death character in that movie was most definitely, Howard said, whenever we were watching that movie, Howard said that he felt like the death character was DeviantArt bait, and we disagreed. We acknowledged that it's very easy to sniff that out. Essentially, it's easy to sniff out whenever they're doing it for DeviantArt bait and those kinds of things. And I think that with this movie, it could not be less obvious that that's more. Fuck, I don't know. My brain's moving at like 90 an hour.
I mean, it is true that this movie does appeal to furries, but then again, I think it appeals to furry in like the natural way. In that, I think it's just simply. I don't think the movie, like, aside from the nudist colony scene. I mean, you mentioned the one of the other scenes that I completely disagree with, to be like a sexual. Well,
the entire movie is coded in this way. The entire movie is coded in the way where you're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, how is this DeviantArt? How is this DeviantArt? How is this DeviantArt? And in that case. Listen, I can understand ignoring this scene and not seeing it like that, but I saw the scene where the foot tall rabbit was running around in the tiny town. I don't know what else you would call it, the tiny town with the little hamsters and whatnot, chasing the weasel character. And I said, okay, well, this is giantess. This is someone's fetish. I strongly stand by that. I strongly stand by it.
I don't.
You can call me internet brain rot. And to be fair, internet brain rot is 100%, 120% how I know that this is a thing. However, it's there. It is undeniably there, and it is undeniably one of the fetishes of the people on the writer staff.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Blaiden. Like, put this in the shoes of, I don't know, kids or families watching it. Do you think?
Yeah, put this in the shoes of the kids or families that are watching this. I mean, let's turn the people who are writing this movie into furries. Can we acknowledge that? Let's turn the people who wrote this movie into furries. Can we agree on that?
Wait.
What is going on my phone? What notification am I getting on my phone? Oh, BBC News. Okay. Okay. Anyways.
Okay.
I guess it was probably about the debate.
Okay, what were you saying, Blaiden? I didn't really.
I said let's turn the people who are writing these movies into furries. I think undeniably the link between Disney and furries is a very strong one. Would you agree? Would you disagree?
I mean, I agree, but I think that's because there's just by that it's just by the fact that there's a lot of movies that have anthropomorphic animals, which, I mean, I don't know. It's like, for animation, is like, I think it's normal for it to be common.
But is it normal to want to have sex with them?
I mean, it is not normal, but at the same time, like, yeah, the whole scene where, like, Yuri goes to like this very small city, and like, he tries to chase the.
You saw that, and you. Look, it doesn't even matter if it didn't cross your mind. It doesn't matter if it didn't cross your mind. What matters is, now that I'm mentioning it to you right now, can you see?
Not enough, honestly. Like, it feels very. It feels too standard for me. Like, I don't know. It's just like I don't believe that people, whenever they were writing that scene, were really having their writers barely disguised fetish, because they don't even really show it. Like, they don't
Okay, but
really
if
try.
they did it in the other scene, I feel like that by like, okay, if you took this scene in a vacuum, if this was a short film, okay,
Mhm.
I mean, even then I would see it, but let's just ignore that, because I think coupled with the context that this is in this is right before, it's within the first 30 minutes, much probably closer to like 15 minutes apart, 10 minutes apart, something like that. If you take that into consideration, and this is in the movie. With the scene that we are both agreeing on is the writer's thinly veiled fetish, and everyone agrees on this. How can you not see it then? That this is 110% what that is.
Well, because they just don't really embrace it in the like the chasing scene at all.
Well,
Like,
no,
it's just.
they don't embrace it, but honestly, I didn't expect them to embrace the naked animal. Like 100%, I agree. That scene was definitely embraced, as you're wording it. I would say, a bit too on the nose. They let the mask slip on that one. It's a bit too obvious what they're going for. But irregardless, I think the obviousness of one doesn't negate the other. You know what I
I
mean? I think it is undoubtedly, undeniably a fetish thing.
mean, even then, it's just like throughout most of the movie, like I never really get the sense that that the movie has the energy to be. I don't know, like it's so much more race focused, like just trying to say something, and I don't know, like it never
Well,
really,
no,
it
the
doesn't really
movie
have
isn't
that.
gonna be the movie isn't gonna be the bunny character and the fox character just mashing pissers the entire time, right? That's not gonna be. That's not they couldn't do that. Obviously, they have to put on some kind of story, some kind of moral, some kind of whatever you want to say, and that's entirely fine. That's entirely but. These scenes in particular that are completely irrelevant to the story that you're saying you're using
I
as an
mean,
example as to why
I
it's not
think.
the case. These scenes are completely irrelevant to the story. They didn't have to be done this way. And honestly, I don't even think the chase. I mean, granted, I didn't finish the movie. I got 30 minutes in. I don't think the chase scene was relevant to the movie at all.
I mean,
And the naked animal scene could have happened completely differently. I think that yeah. What do you
the
have to say
chase.
about that?
I mean, the chasing scene did lead to like the whole investigation to start later on, because you got to, obviously you got to the part where like Judy's boss, he calls her, and he's like, you were supposed to be in the parking lot, why weren't you there? I appreciate that you got this criminal, but, and then it leads to like
Okay, but what
the
I'm
whole.
saying is what I'm saying. Yeah, and then she gets assigned the case with them. I get that. 100%. What I'm saying is um like what about that was what about them being in the tiny town was in I'm just going to keep saying it tiny town. I don't know what else it was called. Hamsterville, fuck it. I don't know. What about that was necessary to the plot of the movie? It wasn't. Okay, it wasn't. It
Okay, I
it was
mean,
the
it
writer's
was.
thinly veiled fetish, and the fact that you can look at this other scene that happens like 10 minutes later and say that this is the writer's thinly veiled fetish, but this one isn't. I think that's ridiculous, especially whenever you take into consideration that, okay, if this is the writer's thinly veiled fetish, then the writers are obviously furries, and what is a common, I don't know how common it is, but it obviously is prevalent within the art, so much so that I know about it. Okay, and I'm not a furry. Okay, I don't know that I need to specify that I'm not. But I did see that one of the Fox lady with her tits crushing the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers. Did you see that one? For a period of
I,
time on the NSFW bot and Tim server, if you did Rule 34 9/11, that's the image that would show up. Okay, this is a common thing. If you ever messed around with a Rule 34 bot in your entire life, which definitely means you're internet brain rotted, and I am internet brain rotted 100%. I will stay. I concede that point. Okay.
mm-hmm.
You know that this is a thing, this is a fetish, this is common within these groups of people. And therefore, I don't understand how you can see this as anything, as a stretch, really. To me, it's just obvious.
I mean, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. For the sake of argument, let's say that it is probably a person that had a fetish for that and decided to insert it. But like, I still don't really care because it's just so tame. It's just like it could so easily be interpreted as just Judy running to a small town and trying to catch the criminal. So like,
That's fine. That's fine. And honestly, the fact that we got so hung up over this, I was really just trying to get you to concede that it's obvious that that's the case. The main thing about this is, does this, if it is the writer's thinly veiled fetish, and I wanted to get you to concede on that point, so there would be 2 points in the movie, at least the ones that I saw. There are probably more later. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but with that being said, does this belong in a kids movie? And does this belong in a movie with anthropomorphic characters where it seems like they're trying to indoctrinate children into this MK Ultra woke mind virus?
I mean,
which I joked about on the Lion King episode, by the way. I joked about that on the Lion King episode, the Disney MK Ultra woke mind virus. But I feel like here it's like, you know what I mean? And keep in mind, I haven't really this was the mindset that I was definitely like thrusted into the movie to have, because I'm going to talk about this a little bit more later, but I'll wait. I'll hold off on why this is the mindset I got thrusted into in this movie. I mean, obviously that's the mindset one has in this movie. Everyone knows this is like an infamous movie. You got like the infamous abortion comic out there, you know what I mean? Which obviously was more of a social experiment, if I remember correctly. But I feel like it's indicative of just how much porn of this movie there is out there.
I mean, yeah, but I think that's just more so like I think the infamous part of the movie is the fan base, and I think that could be that's not really the movie's. Well, I was gonna say that's not really the movie's fault, but like I feel like whatever infamy the movie does have in culture is not really anything that the movie has within its runtime, really.
Yeah. I mean, that's the point I'm making. I'm saying that this movie. Do you think it's bad that this movie seemingly is trying to indoctrinate children into this world of perversion?
I mean, I don't know. It's just there is that one scene, I suppose, like that there are like several sexual innuendos in that scene. I'm not gonna deny that.
They're all like naked, like they're not innuendos. It's shoving it in your face. It is shoving it in your face.
I mean, yeah, but
that's not what innuendo is. Innuendo is like, I don't have example of innuendo, but it's like subtle. There's nothing subtle about this. And listen, if this was like an adult, if this was for adults, it's like I would have nothing against it. I could just say, okay, that's weird. I don't like that personally, but like whatever, I can't do anything about it. You know, I could still have my opinions on it, but I wouldn't be here like arguing that, hey, maybe this is bad. And look, I hate to have the Ben Shapiro take where it's like, this is harmful to children. This is harmful to children. But it's like, I don't know. And obviously I have to play it up a little bit more for the podcast, you know. I got to play it up a little bit more. I got to pretend like I care more than I actually do. And while this is definitely something that I do feel, it's like, obviously, you know, I'm playing it up a little bit, you know. Obviously, I have to. I had to. Okay? I have to. It's my job. Well, it's not my job because I'm not getting paid shit to do this. But if I was, it would be my job. And nonetheless, I do think that I'm entertaining. And you know, if I'm entertaining people for free, then that's fine by me because, you know, that's what I like to do. That's why I'm here. And so obviously this is something that I do feel like this movie is the writer's thinly veiled fetish. And the morality that I want to tackle here in this podcast is that okay in a children's movie? I think not. And I'm going to be a little bit more expressive than I would be if I was talking about this to, just like a friend, not being recorded. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess here's the thing. I don't disagree with the scene itself. It's just, I just don't think that the scene itself invalidates the whole movie for me, like at all. Because I don't know, it's
on a personal enjoyment level or on a level where it's like, because I'm not talking about personal enjoyment. I mean, if we're talking about personal enjoyment, it's like, well, this movie looked better than Wish. It looked better than Turning Red. It looked better than, I think it looked better than Puss in Boots.
I think honestly, I think this movie looks really good. I'm
I
gonna touch
think
on it later,
I
but
think any scene where the characters aren't on screen, I think it looks good. I think it looks bad. This movie has a really disgusting sense of scale, which obviously it would because it's a movie with different animals and animals are different sizes. But I think the sense of scale is kind of like I don't know. It's disgusting. I don't know how else to put it.
I don't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Hey, if that's going to be the extent of your argument, then well done, Bells. Slow golf clap.
I mean,
That was actually too fast. Let me do that again.
no, I don't know. I don't really. When it comes to how this movie looks, I don't have any problems. Like, not it's not just like that. I think that like the world looks beautiful. Like, honestly, like even for like, because like 2016, this was not the only movie with anthropomorphic animals with zero humans that came out in 2016. There was also a movie that a lot of people tend to call like a bit of a Zootopia ripoff. Not necessarily in story, but like when it comes to like trying to appeal to furries, and that was Sync. And I think I like to compare Sync to Zootopia visually because like I know that it's very easy to compare them because it's very easy to dock on Illumination because Illumination bad yada yada. It's like it's a very easy thing to make fun of, but like they're still a mainstream company. It's a movie that still made a lot of money. It was still released in theaters, and you look at those two movies back to back, and I'm like, man, Zootopia just feels so much more inventive when it comes to its world, when it comes to its visuals, when it comes
Okay, but
to
this is a nothing statement. This is a nothing statement. This means nothing. Like a Disney movie. Is it Disney or Pixar?
Disney.
Okay, a Disney movie. That's depressing. A Disney movie has more. It looks. What are you saying? It looks better. It is better. Just in general, it's better than an Illumination movie. It's like,
No,
do I need to bring back the slow golf clap again?
I'm trying to emphasize that compared to not even just Sing, but like probably any other animated movie that came out that year, maybe. Like when it comes to its visuals, when it comes to how enriching and how expensive and just how generally expressive the world is, I think it's something that I don't know. I think it definitely should be noted. Like it's not just saying that the movie looks good, but like it definitely feels forward thinking, even in that sense.
Okay. Can
Yeah.
I talk about why I went into this movie with the mindset of oh God, the
Why?
porn? Because similarly to what we did, or what I did in the Lion King episode, was I was trying to find a dub of this movie in Spanish. Because I'm autistic and my head still rattles whenever I shake it. Hey, that's a reference to the Lion King episode. If you haven't watched it, go fucking do that. It's good. And I talk about how it looks like MS Paint. Bells fails in trying to defend the movie. It's a good fucking episode of a great podcast. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to get that out of the way. That's first of all. Second of all is the dub of that movie was so much easier to find. Why was the dub of this movie so hard to find? It's because I was fighting porn left and right, ladies and gentlemen. It is insane how much more accessible porn is of this movie than a Spanish dub. Now, I have tried to find Spanish dubs of other things before, and let me tell you something. It's not that easy. It's not that easy, okay? It's not the easiest thing in the world. It is very unfortunate. I can completely understand, English is the language of the internet. That's all that needs to be said, okay? That's all that needs to be said. However, oh my God. Oh my God. Even Soulseek, it was more accessible than the Spanish dub. Soulseek. Do you know how insane that is? You have no idea. You've never used Soulseek, but to anyone out there who has ever used Soulseek, the best way to pirate anything, let me tell you something. It is not every day you come across porn on Soulseek. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never done that. I've never had
Wait,
that problem. I've looked up
wait.
so many things on SoulSeek. So many things on SoulSeek, never had that problem. I look for a Spanish dub of this movie. Do you know how much I'm fighting? I'm fighting. It's this one dude in particular. I forget his name, but he had folders with they were all named. It was insane. Jesus Christ.
I will say,
It was absurd.
You're right that I never went to Soulseek. Is Soulseek like it's kind of is it like high movies or I
No,
don't know.
SoulSeek is it's a software. It's a software you use to dub. You can download movies. You can download specifically. It's for music, but it's for movies. You can use it for movies. You can use it for ROMs even. Now that Vim's layer's down, you can use it for a lot of things, a lot of different things, and it's very useful. I like it a lot. It's my preferred method of piracy. If it's on SoulSeek, I'll go there. And let me tell you something. I use SoulSeek a lot. I have downloaded hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Look, I'm incriminating myself right here, but it's important to get this point across. Okay, I have downloaded hundreds and terabyte. Easily a terabyte of media, and that includes remixes of movies. That includes so many different albums on glorious lossless FLAC, ladies and gentlemen. It is beautiful. You can download TV shows. I have the entire South Park series, the entire Family Guy series, the entire Simpsons series. It's that easy, and it's all downloaded on this external hard drive.
Do you have the big tree?
I have Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I found you can find the Slim Shady show on there for download. Okay, I have all these. I have the Donkey Kong Country TV show from the late '90s. I have all these things. All these things you can find on SoulSeek, and it's that easy. And you know what I never came across?
What?
Porn of any of these. Even the ones that I have in the lesser available Spanish dubs of these, because I have Simpsons in Spanish, I have South Park in Spanish, and I never ever came across pornography of these TV shows. And let me tell you something. I know that porn of these TV shows is readily available. I know it's a common thing. It's a common thing. Okay, it's more common than is comfortable to admit even. But I never came across any of that in searching for any of these TV shows, any of these movies. Yet for some reason with this movie in particular, I did. And it's not even a movie that I finished. It's not even a movie that was worth the trouble. Do you know how upsetting this is? Oh, and then you know what I realized after that?
What?
You know my family has a Disney Plus account.
I mean, that's not weird, but that's surprising still.
No, it's not weird that my family has a Disney Plus account. It's weird that I went through the trouble of trying to pirate this. This is how little I use streaming, by the way, because my preferred method is downloading, because I like to own. I like to keep, and I will never. Okay, this is the third time, so we stopped in the middle of the last recording for some reason. The Craig bot, which I'm rating 1 star on Discord because it's bad and disconnected itself for some reason. Bells, don't touch your keyboard and mouse, okay? Just in case it was you. And I'm not going to do the same. I have my hands in the air, and it's kind of like I just don't care, okay?
Yeah, I'm not touching the mouses.
Whenever we left, we were talking about just how there's so much. It's just a ridiculous amount of porn in this movie, and how funny twist ending. It turns out my family had a Disney Plus account that I never used because I like to have media to own. Okay, I like to have media, and I like to own the media.
And I completely agree. I honestly, I recently became very anti-streaming. Like I think owning is a lot better. Honestly, even pirating is a lot better than streaming.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. I mean, here's the thing. If I had it my way, my family wouldn't have a Disney Plus, because I don't think that Disney deserves any money whatsoever. I don't think they deserve a cent. As a matter of fact, I think they deserve to lose trillions of dollars that could instead go to Israel. Anyways, that's irrelevant to the to what's going on right now. It did kind of throw me off track having the weird abrupt break in the audio. It's I don't like that very much. It's one of my least favorite things to ever happen, and I'm going to be rating Craigbot on Discord with 1 star, half a star if they let you, mark my words. However, that being said, this is the reason all of this in trouble, because I don't think you get the full picture. I don't think you get the full picture, Bells. The full picture is, to put it bluntly, I was looking for a Spanish dub of this movie that I could download for 2 hours. It's probably 1.5 hours, 2 hours, somewhere in that area, and it sucks because my usual go-to SoulSeek, which I go to for every single Spanish dub of every single anything that I download, did not have it, which was very unfortunate, and it made me very mad. It made me very upset, and it was also because it was called something different in the region in Latin America. It was all kinds of different things, but I ended up having to look for much longer. I had to torrent it off of this very shady website, and it was not a good time. And the entire time let me tell you, maybe it's the search engine I used, or the search engines I was using, because I wasn't using Google. And I have a feeling that maybe if I was using Google, this wouldn't have happened. Okay. I use a bunch of third-party alt search engines. Okay, third-party alt search engines, and maybe the search results just aren't that good. However, even taking that into consideration, I've never had this problem with any other form of media, and I think that says a lot about this movie.
I mean, yeah, that is fair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is probably the most popular movie when it comes to furries.
Yeah.
Like, I
yeah,
cannot think,
really?
I cannot really.
No, I mean, continue. I'm just saying, I'm just expressing disbelief because, oh my God.
Yeah,
Continue, please continue.
Go on. I mean, it is, like, I cannot really think of any movie that has more of a furry, I don't know, following than this movie does. And it's funny because, like, well, I guess I already said that I was a furry here, but I don't know. Similarly to Lion King, I actually don't really find anything of this movie hot.
Right.
I know this is weird to say, but I mean, I guess when it comes to, like, talking about the furry appeal of this movie, I guess I should probably bring that up. But whatever.
Well, Bells, listen. Not that I relate to everything you just said, but in terms of finding the movie, not finding the movie hot, I think that makes 2 of us. And I think that I've seen enough that I don't know that we're going to be doing the sequel when it comes out. I think I've seen enough outside. Honestly, the amount that I've seen outside of the movie itself. Hold on, what am I trying to say? The amount of the I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, yeah, no, there is a sequel coming out. Also, I just like to say that in terms of disgusting internet art that no one wants to see, no one wants to make. I don't know why they do it. I think they hate themselves. It's the only possible explanation that I have for such a phenomenon. I would also like to say that Dakota, someone close associate of the Bad Movie Podcast, Dakota, he's one of the producers on the show. He's his name is Dakota Sheckelstein. Everyone knows him. He posted in Tim's server. I don't know if you saw this, Bells, but like, even the letterboxd posters of this movie are fucked. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the picture. It is not necessarily porn, but it still is
like softcore. It's softcore.
I guess.
Listen. You can draw rabbits. That's entirely fine. Okay, you draw them caked up, you got fucking issues.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I say this much?
Yeah, I do find it funnier that it was because, like, this is obviously fan mates. Like, like, even if it wasn't porn,
I don't know. Is it? I mean, it would be it would be one of the more disguised fetishes regarding this movie if it was official. I still think that the stuff in the movie that caused me to pretty promptly, like, shut it off. I was like, okay, I'm not sticking with this movie. Even if it has, like, the accidentally based, like, race commentary, about the, the super predators, Hillary Clinton calling them super predators. And, and they're all being controlled with drugs that's given to them by a Jewish coded sheep, a ewe.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think that even despite all that, it was not enough to like reel me back in. I think once I got to the scene. I got to this. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Zog Inc. does not want you to hear this podcast. This is the 4th time that we've tried recording. It's the 3rd time that the body's disconnected. It's very unfortunate, but we're going to prevail. We're going to go forward. It doesn't matter if I have to record this entire podcast in 5-minute intervals. It doesn't matter. Last time we were on for 7 minutes. We can do 4, and that's completely fine. Okay? We're going to have problems, though, if it keeps doing this. If it keeps doing this, I'm going to have to find the headquarters of whoever makes this bot, okay? Because I'm going to have to take it up with the big guy. I'm going to have to take it up with the big guy, okay? They're going to receive something serious in their mailbox, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to receive something very serious in their mailbox, their PO box of the offices who makes this bot. And it's going to be an angry letter. It's going to be an angry letter. Nothing else. They're going to be explosive consequences whenever they read this letter. Let me tell you. They're not going to be happy because I'm going to put a frowny face at the end. That's going to be like the worst part about all this, explosive consequences. People are going to get fired. It's going to be a huge thing. You're going to hear about it all over the news, all over the radio. It's going to be the talk of the town for the next 6 months, okay? Anyways, I digress. I don't even remember where we were in the movie, Bells. I think you should just change the subject because it's not working out. Whatever it is, it's not working out.
Okay, I think you were talking about that you couldn't finish the movie. But honestly, I mean, like I said before, because there's only
because
one
I already
thing.
had everything that I wanted to say about it, and also it just wasn't like, I don't know, something about it because watching what were the other movies we did for this podcast? Like
Lion King.
Wish was funny bad. Turning Red was funny bad. Lion King was just kind of mid, and this movie, like, it was I don't really want to say offensive. It is kind of like, why would you put like a 5? We're at 5 now. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. There's nothing else I can do. There's nothing else anyone can do. I feel like, Bells, we might as well just wrap this up. I don't think that there's anything either of us can do to stop the Zog bot from just disconnecting, and it doesn't want us to have the honest intellectual discussion that everyone is here to hear. I don't know. Where do we go from here? I guess to summarize, since I'm on a time limit, I'm on a strict time limit. And I have to sort through 5 audio recordings thus far. 5 audio recordings. This is how much Zog does not want you to hear us talk about this movie. I guess to wrap it up, it's like, look, whatever people do, whatever consenting adults do in the privacy of their house, that is entirely fine. Once you write your thinly veiled fetish into a children's movie, that's when you got a problem with the Bladenstein, okay? And look, I'm not going to petition against this movie. I'm not going to go out in the streets and wave a flag, or not a flag, but a sign, a picket sign, or whatever. It's like, I don't care that much about it. But I do, this is just the opinion that I have. And that's like open and shut. That's the opinion that I have. I think everyone who's working on this movie, I think that actually, like, the backgrounds in the movie, actually, they look surprisingly okay for a movie that was completely animated with one hand, if you catch my drift. Yeah, that's my take.
Okay. I do have a lot to say, so I'm gonna try to keep this very, very fast.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, like, the reason why, like, even if the movie had a lot of writers barely disguised fetishes or whatever, like, I still probably wouldn't turn it off because, like, outside of the scenes.
Well, because you the fetish appeals to you, but go on.
Okay. I mean, here's the thing. I just like a lot of, like, if you saw my letterbox, I rewatched the movie and I do like it. I think it's definitely flawed because, like, I was gonna say something about the race commentary. I don't think it necessarily is a racist movie. I just think that it's very on the nose of what it's trying to say. Like, it definitely could have been more subtle. It definitely could have also not just forced it down your throat as well, because, like, it does talk about it less. Like, they try to chill out on it, like, like halfway through the movie, because like it becomes more into the investigation, but still, like, the whole race thing does tie together into the end. Like, there's still a lot of because you haven't finished the movie, because like at some point they do find what was it, a whistle that was missing? Forgot, was it a whistle?
He's like a otter, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, otter, whistle, whatever. Like, they find him, but they discovered that one of the scenes, they they watch some guys are like, according to science, according to this scientific test, 90% of the animals that no, what was it, like, yeah,
It was
90% of
50% of the 13% of the animals commit 50% of the crime.
13%.
Yeah, commit 50% of the crime.
Nah, but yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like they were like some
I'm talking about
sci-
socioeconomic factors.
yeah, no, they were talking about
quote
science,
unquote socioeconomic factors. But go on.
that according to the scientists of the movie, 90% of the animals that become wild, and like that percent of the animals that they freak out, they start catching their prey or predators. That and like once Judy exposes that to the world, like the city becomes like this chaotic, like fucked up. Well, not really fucked up, but like they it starts to be being torn to shreds. Racism is becoming more prevalent in the world, and like there's like this at some point, like there's like one scene where like what was it? The fox, Nick. Yeah, Nick is like, oh, how dare you? How dare you? What was I going with this? That I need to.
I don't know. You're kind of just recapping the movie.
I'm doing a Lifetime moment.
Oh, don't say that on the podcast, you dick.
You can cut that off. I don't know.
No, I can't. There's too much editing. Look, I do podcasts, so I don't have to edit. Okay, that's just the beginning and end.
Okay.
You gotta live with your mistakes, G.
Oh yeah. I was talking about the race of the movie in general. Yeah, I was saying that could have been more subtle. Could have been less on the nose, and I was saying that it was being shoving it in your nose less during the movie until later on when it started to shove it in again. But still, like I feel like it definitely could be more subtle. I think I just probably should have just rubbed that out. Just it had to be more subtle. But that's not the only thing. I guess that I don't know. Judy as a character, I don't think it's just very compelling. Like she definitely works for what she is. Like she does serve some compelling character too, when it comes to like her trying to achieve her dreams, her trying to prove a point, her trying to change the world. Like it works for that, but she doesn't really have much of a character outside of that. I think she's a little bland personally. I think that's probably why I don't really feel attached to the furry bait of this movies, because like I cannot really imagine caring that much for this character. And I feel like
I think probably what people get off to isn't personality. I think that's just you. Okay, I do remember. This is a famous Bells quote for those of you who don't know. Bells, gay, obviously, said one time, what was it? What was the quote? It was like, is the best part about a woman is her personality?
Oh my god, no.
Or something like that.
Okay,
I think
no, but
that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, man, but like here's the thing: whenever people on the internet are attached to a cartoon character, like if they didn't have personality at all, like if they were just completely blank, I don't know. I feel like the personality, like whether the people like to admit it or not, does play a little bit of to how someone gets turned on by someone. I don't know. It's just kind of like let's just say that in real life, for example, like let's just say that
I don't want to have this discussion with you.
No, but like, yeah,
I don't want to have this discussion with you.
I just want to say that if you had a girlfriend and she didn't, and you didn't know her at all, will you still care to having sex with her?
Well, Bells, people like this especially, and I don't know how it didn't hit you, but people like this, I assume they just want disgusting sex. Which you definitely want, considering Brogles is a thing, is a meme within my community. But I digress. It's like I don't know. I don't. This isn't a conversation that I want to have with you, honestly. Especially regarding this movie in particular. This is not a conversation that I want to have with you.
Okay, fair enough. I guess I'm just gonna go back to the main point. I think Judy is a bit of a bland character. I think Nick is definitely more interesting out of the two characters. But still, I think they have. I feel like everything with the movie, with the investigation, is honestly the best part about the movie outside of the visuals. Because, again, I think the race is too much on the nose. But whenever it focuses on the investigation, on the chemistry between the two characters. Even the comedy, I think it's a pretty funny movie. Like, it's not the funniest movie in the world, but there's some scenes in the movie that I think are pretty funny. Funnily enough, the scene with the slugs, that was literally after the nudist colony scene. So I don't think you've seen it, Blaiden, but the one with the slugs, like that. I don't know. I thought that scene was probably the funniest of the movie. And I think one of the reasons is because the comedy was just writing in and of itself throughout that part. The comedy that definitely feels natural here, and I don't know, it's just that I feel like when it comes to
I don't think there was anything that I laughed at or was even slightly amused by.
Like the first 30 minutes. I mean, it's not really. To be fair, I think there's a lot of comedy in the first 30 minutes, but I don't know. Because a lot of the comedy is later on, but whatever. What was I gonna say? There's a fucking spider here. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you're going on 10 minutes, which surprisingly the bot hasn't disconnected. But I thought we were wrapping it up. But honestly, if the bot keeps wanting to work this time around, then that's fine by me.
Yeah.
I don't really want to push it though. To be honest, I think I don't know. I think that it might be best to wrap it up. We're at almost an hour, I think. But
I'm just gonna say one more thing and I'll wrap it up. Okay. I do admire that when it comes to dialogue, when it comes to modern writing. I don't know. Out of all the 2010s Disney movies, this is definitely one of the more tolerable. I don't think the dialogue in this movie is forced. And I'm bringing this up because I don't know. I just recently rewatched Frozen as well. Not even
for no reason too. For no reason.
Yeah. It wasn't even for the Bad Movie podcast. I was just
that was weird. I thought that was weird. That's weirdo behavior. I don't like I don't like grown men who do that. But that's besides the point. I'm gonna scold you for that later.
I think I just
my words.
I guess we can talk about later why decided to rewatch the movie, but that movie particularly has really obnoxious dialogue. I think is the point where Disney began to phone it in when it comes to the what was that kind of talk in their movies. And I don't know, this movie surprisingly doesn't really have that at all. It definitely feels a lot more traditional when it comes to dialogue, and I personally admire that. I think when it comes to in that angle, it definitely has aged better than a lot of the other Disney movies.
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
Can we not do Lion King 2 next?
Wait, why not?
I don't want to see anything with animals that talk for a while.
Okay, yeah. And it's just a notice colony scene. Calm down.
Shut the fuck up! You don't get to say that. You don't get to say it's just a nudist colony scene. That means nothing. That means nothing to you, but it means everything to me. Okay, it means everything to me. You don't. Because think about what you're saying here. And also it's not like I couldn't stomach through it. Obviously, I could. You know what I mean? I'm an adult. I'm a grown man. You know what I mean?
But are you
obviously
afraid
I can stomach?
Are you afraid that there's going to be any sexual innuendos or any fetishes?
No. I didn't think there was going to be anything. Or wait, what are we talking about? Are we talking about Zootopia or are we talking about Lion King 2?
That you don't want to watch Lion King 2 because you don't want to...
No, that's not it. Mainly it was a joke, but also it's a joke that I'm going to be committing to here. I mean, it's a joke that I'm going to be committing to. Let's just not do it. Let's not do it. Let's do something else.
Okay, I guess so you want to watch something with humans. Okay. Well, okay, we can talk that at the end of the podcast.
Oh, but no. What I was saying was it's not like I couldn't stomach through that scene. Obviously, I'm a grown man, but it was more so about just like morality. I don't believe in. I think this is like I think it's sketchy having this in a kids movie is really just my point. Obviously, it's like there's a way to do it funny, where it would make kids laugh. Not that this didn't make kids laugh. I don't know what kids' reactions to this movie was. Frankly, I don't think anyone under the age of 20 saw it. I think everyone over the age of 20 who saw it should probably be investigated. I think they should have their animals confiscated. But that's besides the point. I think I don't know. Maybe it was funny to kids. Maybe it wasn't. I'm not a kid. I don't know. But I think there's a way to do it funny. There's a way to do it where it feels like you're thinly veiled fetish, and this is what it felt like to me. And I think because of that, and also because of the giant test thing, which we argue back and forth, and I think I got you to concede on it. It's like this movie definitely is doing that, and I would hope that I don't know. I think it's not what the West needs. If I'm to be like half ironic, half unironic, mainly ironic, just completely ironic. But I think that this kind of debauchery, this degenerate behavior, I think that's how you corrode a society. And this movie probably did no favors. Judging by the amount of porn that I had to fight. It was like I was in the jungle with a machete. You know what I mean? And I had like I had a machete, I had a map, and I had one of those like little candles that you it's like a ring. You slip your finger in the ring, and it's like on a tray. Those candles, and a pair of binoculars around my neck. I was just in the jungle. It was night, and I was just slashing my machete to cut through all the brush. And it was like to obtain my hands on a downloadable Spanish dub of this movie, and once I finally did, it did not stay on my hard drive for too long. Let me tell you that much. It did not stay on my hard drive for too long.
I mean,
that's really my point.
I mean, hey, I don't disagree. It's just all I'm gonna say is, when it comes to its impact on culture, it could have been a lot worse. Generally,
no,
like
Blaiden. No, Bells, stop, no.
Well,
Bells, no.
Why?
No, not you. No.
But
anyone who's not you, no. Bells, no.
I'm not even talking about.
Stop.
Just like in general.
Stop. No. Listen, I let you get by with a lot of shit, okay? Okay?
Okay.
And despite all that, I still call you my friend, okay? I let you get by with a lot of shit. Not this. No.
But I wasn't going to talk about
No. Just stop.
I was just talking about culture in general.
No. Bells, you don't know anything about the West. You don't know anything about the debauchery, the adultery that's being promoted on a large scale. You don't know. And if you did know, you would agree with it. You would like this. You'd say, that's good. I like that. Yeah, no.
Okay. Fine, Blaiden.
No.
Fine.
You don't get to. No. The 24 frames a Nick thing. Anyways. No, I think we can do Encanto.
I don't have enough interest to do Encanto, I'm gonna be honest.
Bells, it's the you movie. It's the movie you're in.
Yeah, but I don't like the movie I'm in. I don't like. Sometimes it doesn't have to be about me. Like honestly,
I thought you liked the movie.
I like the movie, but I don't really. I don't know. I don't really have an I'm not really interested right now to talk about it.
You sound like T-Pain right now. Are you good?
Yes, I am good. I like the movie. I think it's one of the better Disney movies of this decade, which is kind of a low bar, but whatever. It is a good movie. I don't think it will make it for good content. Like even if it's about Colombia and haha, that's where I live. It's like
Bells, it is an infinite fountain of content for me and you. I don't know how you don't see this is content delivered on a gold platter, okay? A gold platter in a coliseum with marble floors, okay? It is.
Yeah.
We could not ask for more.
But all of the content you can get is only.
I'll tell you what. Let's do a really bad movie.
Okay. A
What are we thinking? I want to do one that's similar to Wish and Turning Red. I want to do just like the worst movie that either of us can think about right now.
And that it has humans.
Because I'm tired. Because whenever we wanted to do this podcast, we started off with those movies and we decided, okay, we're agreeing too much that these are bad. So then we moved to movies that you liked and I don't like, and right now we're at 3. And honestly, brother, it is exhausting. Perfect Blue.
Perfect Blue?
Perfect Blue.
Wait, I thought you were just looking for really bad movies.
I mean, that would be a good change of pace. But what about something like Perfect Blue?
But you like Perfect Blue.
I know.
Yes, but I thought the point was for a movie like.
The point is, yes, well, it would be a change of pace if we both hated the movie, but it would also be a change of pace if we both liked the movie, which I guess Lion King but I was more mid than anything. Fine, we don't have to do Perfect Blue, which is let's look for a bad movie then. Let's look for a bad movie. Let's
Okay.
What comes to mind, Bells? What comes to mind?
I mean, I have one, but that one will probably be too obvious, too much of a. That will be too much of a stereotypical one.
What?
And honestly, it's probably not even relevant anymore. The Titanic movies. I don't think you will care.
What?
Yeah, the animated Titanic movies. You don't know about those?
No, I don't want to do that. That sounds lame.
Oh, okay, we can talk about it later. But I'm just surprised you don't know about them. I'm just gonna look at my letterbox.
You gave this movie a 7?
Zootopia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the movie. Like I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's pretty.
That
good.
is absurd.
Yeah,
What'd you give it initially?
No, I don't. I think I gave it I don't know. When I watched it on theaters, I think I was like, okay, it's great. And then I haven't watched it since, and I was like, it's probably more of a 7 than an 8. So it was like a blinded 7. And then when I rewatched it, I was like, yeah, it is a 7. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna look at my letter. Do you want to watch a movie where seen it, or one that or do you really not care if I have seen it or not?
No, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. And honestly, it doesn't even make that big of a difference if I've seen it or not, but I probably haven't. So it's like, whatever.
Okay. So let me look at my letterbox.
You look at your letterboxd, Bells. That's all I could possibly ask of you. That's all I could ask.
Okay.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I could do. Ever.
Yeah.
Okay. Good talk. Good talk, Bells.
Okay, this is a funny one. This has neither animals or humans. We can do Cars 2.
Shouldn't we do Cars 1 first? Let's do Cars 1 first.
Maybe we can do Cars. Yeah. I mean, I don't dislike Cars 1, but I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to do Cars 1.
Is it topical? Is it topical at all?
I mean, yeah, there's plenty to talk about the movie. It's like
I don't think there are people lining up like I want to. Let's do the new Ellis Mark pilot.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, that's it. How long is it? Are we gonna have much to say about it?
I do have a lot to say about it. In fact, actually,
have you seen it?
I have seen it. I've actually seen it. I can let you know what I thought about it later on, but it is 20 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Let's do that then. Let's do that.
Okay. Let's
Yep.
do yeah. I also worked
Yeah,
because
okay, you're cutting out. You're all over the place right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's better if we end. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the podcast. Hopefully I didn't come off as right wing. I don't think I did. Just know that at the end of the day, it's all jokes. It's all funny. It's all ironically. It's all done for laughs. And Bells here is my friend, and whether or not he adds anything of value to my life, I'm still trying to work out. But possibly. Possibly.
Okay, that's not
Maybe.
a little mean. It's not cool.
Maybe it is a little mean. I'm sorry, Bells. I'm sorry. You know you're my friend. You know you're my friend. And this is the podcast, and that's all I have to say. Suck my dick and balls.